Once again, welcome to our weekly table talk. As you know, we are blessed to have on each and every Tuesday a special guest, a high-profile guest from our community and beyond. Today we are privileged to welcome Darrell Kendig. Thank you, audience. Thank you, audience. Today our audience comes from HEB. As you know, Darrell worked with HEB in times past before working with St. Joseph. So we gathered his friends today from HEB to join us live and in person. So welcome, HEB. So Darrell, tell us about HEB before you came to work here at St. Joseph.
Well, it was a little different because it was overnights. So you deal with a different breed of people with these guys that work overnight. They may be a little bit crazy, but they work hard and they enjoy their job for the most part. But that's because they have to work at night.
And the advantages and disadvantages of night duty in the context of a wife and children.
The only thing that was really nice is I worked 9 days on, 5 days off. So it was like having a vacation every other week. But I was asleep while they're awake, and then awake while they're asleep, and then trying to transition from vampire back to normal person life is an interesting thing. It was usually staying up for almost a 24-hour period so that you can get that turnaround and get back to normal people life, and then got to do it all over again.
And how long did you work at HEB?
2 years.
2 years. And tell me, Darrell, how did you find us?
Actually, my grandmother's favorite charity is St. Vincent de Paul. And that's where it started, with St. Vincent de Paul and with Elvis, meeting all the guys down and the ladies down there, and they brought it to my attention, and my wife and I kind of talked about it for a while, and the difference in pay and the difference in hours, and this just made a heck more sense for an overall balance in life. Coming back working, well, as of right now, working every day, but only working during the days is very nice.
We are blessed, as you all know, in our parish to have an amazing St. Vincent de Paul Society, and they do Trojan work in service to the poor, in service to the vulnerable, and in service to all who cross their paths each and every Tuesday and Thursday. So this is our time to thank St. Vincent de Paul Society and all the men and women who give their time and talent to serve not just our parish but St. Vincent de Paul Society. Darrell, now that you work for me and you work for us, you certainly had a very trying time in light of Snowvit. Tell us what that was like for you, being a lone ranger trying to ensure we had water, electricity, heat and simple maintenance.
Well, the first race wasn't bad, except for the fact that you had no water, but that's just because the tanks froze over. So it was okay, but we had water, everything was safe everywhere, there was no breaks, no problems anywhere. And then the second freeze hit. And I showed up that Saturday, I was like, wait, there's no water in my tanks right now. And came into the education building and found a 1-inch tear in a copper high pressure line, had dumped 6,000 gallons worth of water into that building. From the attic, through the men's restroom, all the way to that bottom floor, and flooded the entire building out.
The damage is and was extensive. Can you speak to the extent of our damage?
Well, the entire flooring on the first floor is being replaced, as well as a foot of drywall in just about every single room because of water damage. On the bottom floor, every single room in the bottom floor has at least a foot of drywall taken out to 2 feet of drywall. All the cabinets had to be replaced, all the ceiling tiles are being replaced, and then there's the issue of mold, which they're taking care of, and I got news today that next Wednesday they're coming out to do the full removal and take care of that, and that's going to start moving us forward into construction and getting back to a little bit of the normal life.
Some weeks ago we had Deacon Freddie here, on site, and Deacon Freddie has been a true blessing, being an expert, in water. I know Freddie has been instrumental in helping you and guiding you. For those who do not know our situation here at St. Joseph, we do not have the blessings of having, normal water. We are dependent on a well, we're dependent on water towers, and yet in trying times like Snowvit, we certainly bore the brunt, of that reality. Moving forward, what must be done to ensure that this never happens again?
Well, one of the things we're talking about with Deacon Freddie too is there's 2 proposed wells, a residential well to go up in at your house, which will actually keep you on your own water supply, and then re-drilling our well for the main church. Right now, we are only going into the upper and lower Glen Rose, which is the first aquifers that you hit. We need to get down to the Cow Creek. And so that's what we're working on, is getting drilling companies to come out here and give us quotes. Unfortunately, the hard part for us right now is the fact that they're still working with getting people water. So saying that we have water and we have the ability of a running well with pumps that are working, we kind of get pushed to the back. They do apologize for the fact that they had to push us to the back, but you have to think about when us who have water versus those who still don't have running water or have pumps and wells that are working properly. That's the right thing to do, is you take care of those people first. We are on the list to get taken care of. Right now I have 4 different companies that are trying to squeeze us in to get us out here and give us quotes on getting those wells dug. As soon as that we get those quotes back, we move forward on those.
Now, I noticed we still have porta potties on property. The restrooms in the church, are they working?
The restrooms in the church are working. We are asking people to please try to use the porta potties if they can. We understand that some people don't like to use porta potties. The reason being is because the the upper and lower Glen Rose are really shallow on water. You have to remember, in November alone, we were 11 inches shy of the average for Texas, for Spring Branch area. So right now we're getting a dry head alarm every day. So basically what that means is my pump and my well runs for 30 to 45 seconds, takes a good 30 to 45 minutes and sometimes an hour before it registers enough water in there to pump again, and once again it's only 30 to 45 seconds of actual pumping in the water. So while we're producing water, we're not producing enough water to really sustain the property. So that's why we really ask people that, we know they're an inconvenience, no one likes using, but please, if you can, use them. You're saving us water, you're helping out the church, you're making it so we don't have to spend so much water bringing water to fill those tanks up so that we can survive.
Later on today, Darrell, you will make a presentation to the Finance Board. We're blessed here as a parish to have an amazing pastoral council, an amazing Finance Board under the leadership of Matt Wolfheil and Elvis Millikamp. What recommendations will you make this evening to the Parish Finance Board?
Right now we're still waiting on the production of the quotes so that we can actually move forward with those. So what I know, speaking to Elvis earlier today, what we're talking about today mostly is going to be the damage that's occurred, where we are moving forward on the with construction, and if there was any timelines given. I was actually given a little bit of timelines on what we should be expecting moving forward. So that's what I'm going to be presenting to them. When it comes to speaking to the Financial Council about the wells, if I have no numbers to give them, that's what they want to hear. They just want to know where we're at, what's moving forward. But we do have a plan in effect. Freddie is definitely working hard. I talked to Freddie this morning. He's actually applying for our permits for the 2 new wells today online. He did all the research. Because of the amount of water that we do use and the log that we're keeping, we're exempt from most of those logs, which is a great thing for us. So we're looking at a minimal cost to get the new permit and start moving forward.
When you say numbers, the Finance Board would prefer to have numbers. Numbers for what exactly?
Estimates for the drilling costs.
And when do you think you would have those estimates?
We're waiting on those companies to bring back. As soon as I get done with here, the plan was to call them earlier today, but the contractors showed up. And so I walked them around the property, and we did a lot of the reviews. We actually ended up going to a couple extra buildings just because of the hail last night to just check for any immediate damage. And as soon as I'm done with that, there's 4 phone calls I'm making to see how soon we can get at. Spring Branch Well is the one that has been definitely said that we have you on the list. As soon as we can get you, we're going to go there. And as well as we have 3 other companies that we've already sent the quotes requests to.
at my house last evening we had hail and thunder. I said, no, this can't be happening again. The poor dogs were trembling, so they ended up getting the guest room last night, not the garage. They ended up staying in the guest room because Roxy and Alexandra, 2 female dogs, were high as kites because of the thunder and the hail. But Darrell, I want to, first of all, on behalf of my staff, to thank you for the amazing work you have done in so short a time here at St. Joseph. Thank you, HEB. And I know HEB appreciated your time with them, you know, during those 2 years of service. But you have done an amazing work. You're very willing to oblige. I know you came to my rescue during the snow when I was having daily water problems, you know, with the house. So we're truly blessed to have you. So tell me about your wife and children. How did you all meet?
My wife and I met working for In-N-Out Burger in California.
In-N-Out Burger.
Yes.
What does that mean, In-N-Out Burger?
Whatever that Harry Snyder decided he wanted it to mean in the 1960s, 1948. But yeah, she taught me how to work the drive-thru, and then we became really good friends. And we used to work together. I used to do the grill, and she would wrap the burgers next to me, and it just became a friendship that changed from a friendship to a dating relationship to now we have 5 beautiful boys, and they drive us nuts, but we love each and every one of them.
And for those who are single in our audience, for those who are single watching, it all goes back to a good burger. So if you are looking for a partner, in our neighbourhood we have Whataburger, we have Burger King, we have McDonald's. So if you are looking for a partner, check out the nearest burger joint, and maybe you might meet your partner no different than Darrell meeting his good wife at In-N-Out Burger. So I would recommend go online and maybe check out In-N-Out Burger. In what city?
Personally, Burbank is where we started.
Burbank, California. In-N-Out Burger is not known in Texas.
They're coming around.
What towns, what cities have them?
Right now we have one 281 just before the 1604 is the closest one.
I didn't know that. Did you, audience, know we had an In-N-Out Burger? I believe Charles Nolan is a fan of In-N-Out Burger, you know, with his family. So Darrell, once again, I felt that this interview was important because we are going through so much with unknowns. Unknowns with numbers, unknowns with the type of, you know, tile we may use in the formation building. But just moving one step further, I know you're in conversation with Sam Haynes, looking at the future renovation of the chapel, especially the floor in the chapel. Where are we with that in light of your conversations with Sam?
Right now he's got everything pretty much selected. You actually have a sample of the flooring in your office right now. They didn't have a sample of the carpet that they're going to be using. We'd already blocked out some time in April to move forward. I had an interesting conversation with Elvis earlier. Just a lot of this was already set into motion long before I was even in Texas. But as of right now, he's got most of the painting done. He's got everything that he's done. And they're doing the restorations based on what the original chapel looked like originally. So that's why we're not even really talking about the balcony section, because that was an addition that was added later. But with the floor, he's ready to go. The company, I spoke to them last Friday. They're ready to go. They're just waiting on the date, and basically your signature on the bottom line that says let's go for it and start moving forward.
Yeah, and bearing that in mind, folks, we will be closing down the chapel to allow for the renovation of the new flooring. So all services, well actually, services are taking place in the main church as of now, but anything that was scheduled in those days on that particular week, we will simply move to the main church, especially adoration. We will continue to have adoration in the main church on those days during the remodeling of the chapel floor. And I would suggest, Darrell, if you and Elvis and Sam are happy with that flooring sample you left in my office, just make it happen.
We'll do it, Captain.
So once again, thank you, Darrell Kendig, for joining us today. Thank you, HEB, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. God bless you, God love you.